To Nani's house we go. The Thanksgiving travel rush is upon us. And if you plan on hitting the road for Turkey Day, you are going to have plenty of company. More than 73 million people are set to cruise at least 50 miles or more for the holiday. Hertz says today will be the busiest car rental pickup day of the season. Those who are traveling by plane are weighing in on the Transportation Secretary's calls to dress a little nicer at the airport. Watch.
Dressing better at the airport is probably a better way to condone yourself when you're on vacation.
What's your reaction to that?
Why?
A lot more interesting stories in this world rather than worry about pajamas.
We left at 4 o'clock this morning. I'm not going to get up and do my face and put on a nice outfit if I just have to go to the airport.
I don't want to say it's the younger generation, but it is what it is. That they think they can get away with it, and they get treated the way they look.
I think it's disgraceful, and I think people need to look respectful and decent.
Well, the mainstream media taking it to a whole other level, of course, calling Sean Duffy's wishes a, quote, fantasy world, going as far as calling it a hallmark of Trumpism. But an editorial piece in the New York Post agrees with Duffy, saying, "We are a nation of slobs who are too comfortable in daytime pajamas." So the whole philosophy is that you might behave a little better if you are clothed a little better, and also that it contributes to that entire culture, as we just learned, of civility, of grace, of politeness, of manners, of decorum that seems to be massively eroded in the past years, with some frightening statistics like a 400% increase in in-flight outbursts and 13,000 unruly passengers and things like that.
Absolutely. I totally agree with Sean Duffy. And it's not just about the clothes. He's saying you want to create a culture of responsibility, to your fellow man. So the other thing he mentioned, which I loved, he said, don't take off your shoes and socks and stick your foot through the chair. He said, the most important one, don't play your devices without headphones. That has to be a national movement. People are playing their devices, and it's worse. I thought we were done with this. Remember in the 1980s, they had the boom boxes, and people were just, they were polluting the airwaves. Now people are polluting with their devices. You got to put the headphones in. It's about respect.
Okay, Cheryl, we have an expert on the couch. A prior flight attendant. Talk to us about how you view this potential for a movement. Would it help revert things back to an era of civility?
I think that it's about time for us to change how the situation on the aircraft in particular is. I love that he sat down with that flight attendant and posted that this morning. I reposted it immediately because I was a flight attendant for 6 years, and I can tell you firsthand that it is a very difficult job. And I always try to remind people this Thanksgiving that they're flying you to your family, but they're not going to be with their family. So maybe be a little polite and nice. But look, 1 in 5 flight attendants have suffered physical altercations. That was just in 2021. Think about all those viral videos that you've seen on TikTok of all of the craziness. The flight crews are the front line. So thank you to Secretary Duffy. As far as the civility campaign goes, look, no one's living in fantasy land that we're all going to show up in high heels and pillbox hats and tuxedos on the plane. No. Look, I'm a big fan of athleisure. I say you get your Lululemons on and your comfortable shoes. But for good, by the way, the New York Post said it better. You can't keep people in stiff suits and prim dresses once they've had some cotton spandex and nylon blend on their bodies. Okay,
No going back.
So I get that, but I think that this movement is very strong. It's gotten a lot of pickup. And by the way, he broke that with Fox Business, and we were on Fox and Friends with the beginnings of this, and that they went viral because he made the pajamas comment. And I thought that was fascinating. That is where the New York Times flipped out and said, he wants us to not wear pajamas to the airport. Oh, well, maybe not, but maybe act a little more civil when you get to the airport, folks.
Yeah. Rosanna, there's a spectrum, arguably. So there are those people that dress literally straight from what they were sleeping in with actual slippers and things. And then there's the whole athleisure, which is an expensive and tailored but comfortable realm where people still look that they tried and that they're respecting the fact that they're out of the house and working with flight attendants.
Emily, when I'm not working, I constantly look like I'm going to the gym or I just came home from the gym. But it does say a lot about the times that we live in, where the agency that regulates air traffic now has to regulate common sense. You should dress respectably. I mean, there's sometimes I've been on, airplanes where people are half naked. I'm sorry, it makes everybody uncomfortable and you're worried about their safety. I've been on planes where people take off their shoes. I'm not saying I saw anybody clip toenails, but I've heard people clip I mean, this is common sense stuff, guys. And yes, people get unruly, and maybe it's the trickle-down effect, that if you look respectable, you will treat your fellow passengers in a respectable way. This is the times that we live in that we have to teach people basic common sense.
Yeah. So, Caroline, the other argument, or the other whatever side, is that a smile is your best accessory. So one might argue, especially those in the younger generations, well, look, I know I look comfortable, but I am polite and I'm clean and I'm civil. And so will that make up for the horror of seeing bunny slippers on a youth?
I think some of those qualities are also still left wanting with Gen Z. And I know there were quite a few Gen Z interviewees who said they couldn't be bothered to ditch the sweatpants. But I actually think there's quite a few more than are willing to admit it who want an excuse and an opportunity to dress up and to meet other people. And about these publications bashing this Sean Duffy announcement, what's wrong with a little travel nostalgia? Obviously 9/11 fundamentally changed airport security, and we're not going to have tea service with fine china anymore on airplanes. But I think back to those vintage Pan Am commercials and advertisements that said something like passport to paradise, and everybody was dressed to the nines. And I think things like that, Gen Z actually is that resonates with them, because those are aesthetics that we kind of want to harken back to. And it will revive decorum and social graces probably, which also starts with treating others around you well as dressing well yourself, which signals to other people that you care.
May I say that? Oh, sorry.
It's gotten more stressful. I just want to say, just to pick up really quick, it's gotten more stressful. Since 9/11 and then after the pandemic, the skies have gotten worse.
Yeah.
So I think the timing of this campaign is very important.
I was going to call for another video of the secretary, because you brought up something he talked about. Something I appreciate about this administration is there's no detail too granular for a secretary at the top to care about. And so this is him talking about, it may not be tea and fine china, but can we get better snacks? Watch.
I would love some better snacks. I would love a little healthier snack on the airplane. Maybe that could change it all. If I didn't get the really fat cookie, like fattening cookie full of just like butter and sugar and crap, or the little snack pack of pretzels.
Yes. I mean,
it's not enough, though. We need more.
That's true. That's true. Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.